If my YouTube TV does not work at my house now, I'm going to kick you in your ass.
Why wouldn't it work at your house?
It should be, but after this, I don't know, and I still haven't gotten a code from them.
Dangerous game to play. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Pacific Calls. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
There is a promo code at Pacific Calls. I don't know what it is, but there is a promo code. Save yourself. I think it's BHP25. 25% off. Get the lesser call. Father's Day's coming up. Send some money. Spend some money. Save some money with Pacific Calls and get your dad what he really wants. He don't want another tie. He wants a fucking duck call.
Whoa, hold on. Are we talking about me?
Yeah, you. I'm getting you a duck call. Congratulations.
Well, I had a longer list of some things that I really wanted.
Nope,
but I guess
duck calls it.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. With us today from Marshall, Texas, a graduate of Stephen F. Austin, from the hunting public, Mr. Nick Andrews. Nick, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How y'all doing
I've
today?
got a question to start off this podcast. Are you ready?
Remember that scavenger hunt we were talking about?
Go ahead. Let it rip.
Have you ever been in a homosexual relationship? Okay.
No.
Well, it's not there. I'm trying. I'll dig into some more stuff then.
He's really searching. So y'all just got back from what? Wisconsin? Turkey hunting up there?
Yeah, I just got back from Wisconsin. Today is Monday.
Yep.
I got back on Friday, I think. So that marked a long spring. Actually, one of our guys, Jake, he's headed to Michigan right now for the last couple days. And I had to bow out of those last couple of days to get back and get moved into my apartment and get some work done. So here I am.
Where were you at in Wisconsin?
It's southeast Wisconsin.
So about Illinois?
Yeah, pretty close down there, I guess.
That's some pretty country over there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Wisconsin has got to be my second favorite state, I think. I've been going the last few years up there, end of May, and I love it.
What's your favorite state?
Texas.
Okay. Texas isn't even in my top 5.
Really?
Fuck no. Other than our politics, and that's about it.
I'm Texan through and through.
There
We're
ain't
the best. We're the best state that's out there.
Let me tell you
And
something.
it ain't even close.
If a bird had brains, some bitches would fly upside down over Texas because there ain't nothing worth shitting on or looking at in Texas.
You are fucking insane right now.
What is pretty in Texas?
There's a bunch of shit that's
Okay,
pretty in
name
Texas.
3 things. Right now, 3 things.
3 things.
3 things.
At this very moment.
That are beautiful in Texas. Yes, right now.
Peanut harvest in October. Love it.
Now. I said right now.
Oh, right now.
Yes.
No, I thought you meant like on the spot.
There ain't shit in Texas.
Wheat harvest is beautiful.
You have some guys on them combines right now. They're parked right down the road. They're going to be parked for another
Things
week.
are lush and green right now.
They are.
Sense of Texas pride that no other state has the amount of pride that a Texan has in his state.
I would agree with you on that.
So there you go. You're done. I'm done. Texas Tech,
Man.
Texas baseball, Texas football. Fuck.
I love Texas.
Guadalupe River is pretty nice right now, I got to say.
The Guadalupe River is your choice of the prettiest place in Texas.
No, I didn't say the prettiest, but you said name 3 pretty things, and that one's pretty fucking nice right now, I got to say.
First thing, if I was going to pick the most beautiful thing in Texas, I would say they have vaginas and boobs because we got the best looking women in the world are in Texas.
No, you're running them out. So go get you a fucking one from Vermont.
I married a woman from Texas.
No, not your next one's got to be from a woolly booger from up north.
I think Jennifer Aniston's from Vermont.
She is from California.
Anyways, I think Texas has beautiful women, but I don't think there's a lot in our scenery. Texas has a lot of really pretty things. There are. The hill country's beautiful. That area from San Antonio to the valley, that rugged country I like down there, but I would not change that for the Northeast. Michigan is a beautiful state, and so is Wisconsin. I like Minnesota too.
I mean, yeah, they're all great, but I wouldn't want to.
You couldn't even name shit, Andy. You don't even count. At least he come up with the Guadalupe River. And that's a good place too.
Wheat harvest.
The wheat harvest, yeah, that's good looking. So
you said right now.
So how many turkeys you killed this spring?
How many did you watch get killed?
I watched. I'd have to. Yeah, it was mid-30s, I think. I saw die.
He got you beat by a little bit, Andy.
He got me beat by about 30.
Some guy asked me, he goes, is Andy that shitty a turkey hunter, or is it just tough this year? I said, probably a mixture of both.
Listen, I got Seth Fighter on my side, so if anybody has any questions about the turkey hunting here, direct it to Seth Fighter. He goes all over. He knows. But like June to turkey hunt is late to me. I'm kind of like a seasonal guy. Like when we get to February, I'm done goose hunting. Done. I don't like, there's people going up to Canada in May to shoot snow geese. Like my brain is not there. I am, by the time May rolls around, I'm even done turkey hunting for the most part. Like I'll go to the very end, but like I'm shifting. I'm beach with a pina colada in my hand.
I didn't start like wanting to extend that until like growing up, I only hunted in Texas, and then, by May 1st, it's hotter than shit. Turkeys are kind of shutting down, and it's real hit or miss. When I started traveling further north and getting out of the state of Texas, that's when my turkey hunting brain wanted to expand closer to June and things like that. And this year is the longest I've ever gone, just doing this, filming hunts and stuff. So this is the longest we've ever gone, and it was a ride. I know that. It was a lot of fun.
I couldn't imagine. Because did you start like normal, like end of March in South Texas?
No, I started March 8th in Mississippi.
And you've been on the road the whole time?
Yeah, I came home for 2 days. I was home Easter Sunday and a week before Easter, because we did hunt in Texas this year, and we hunted at my lease. I got a lease in Llano, and we hunted there. And so I spent from March 8th to June the 1st or 2nd, I spent 2 days in Marshall. Other than that, I was gone on the road.
Do you like that? I mean, how old are you? You're in your, what, mid-20s?
Yeah.
Late
28.
20s. Oh, you're getting there, buddy. Do you like it still?
It's scaring the shit out of 30. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love, like, I don't know. This is what I've always wanted to do, is at least for a portion of my life, I've wanted to live like this and, just stay gone and travel and hunt. And this was the first spring that I've been able to do it. This past fall, I was an intern with the hunting public. So that was the first fall I just stayed gone. I left and went up to Iowa in July and started pronghorn hunting in August. And then it just snowballed into deer season and everything else all the way into January. And I was just gone all the time filming hunts, and I loved it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's what I wanted to do. That's why, I got out of the Marine Corps and went to college to try to do something like this. So it's kind of all just falling good.
Andrew, we were on the road for 7 days filming. Would you want to do it for another 2 or 3 weeks after that?
No.
Was you ready to get home, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't mind being on the road for about 5 days. About day 6, I'm yearning for Knox City.
When do you get over the hump where you're just like, you kind of get over the missing of the home, and it's just like, well, this is just what we got to do?
Like this spring, it never hit me until, I don't know, about the last 5 days I was in Wisconsin, because I was in Wisconsin for 19 days. And about the last 5 days, it started getting real hot. Turkeys were shutting down, and it really wasn't just kind of jumping off anymore. And then at that point, I was like, damn, it'd be nice to, go back home and kind of go get on the lake or something and do something a little different for a little bit.
Yeah.
But up until that point, it didn't hit me, not even a lick, the whole spring. I was just in it. I was loving it.
Now, do you do any of the editing for Hunting Public, or you turn everything over once you've filmed it?
I do help with the editing. Since I'm the newest guy doing everything, I'm learning and trying to work my way through it and get to the level that everybody else is on the editing side of things. So like before this call here, I've been working all morning on editing deer school videos, because we have a subscription-based deer school thing on the website. And I've been working on videos to post up to that. And it's coming along, like when I went to college, I didn't go for video editing or anything. I went for photography. And so the whole video editing is new to me, but that's part of the internship, was learning how to do that and how to just get better and grow in that. And so that's what I've been doing all spring. Because the first half of the spring, we were posting videos day of. So like we were hunting in Mississippi that morning, and then that night you could watch the hunt we had that morning. You could watch the turkey we killed that morning at 7:00 that night. So we were turning out videos real fast, and we had a crew of guys working on it. We'd have 4, 5, 6 of us at a time working on one video, and we'd, knock it out in 5 or 6 hours, and then we post it up. And so that definitely helped with the learning curve of the editing, because you're kind of just getting thrown into it, and you get a little chunk of a video, and they'd say, this is your part, work on that. And I would do what I could, and I'd turn it over and then just go from there.
That's a fast turnaround.
Yeah, it was cool because we're getting to get live feedback from people. It's like almost doing like a semi-live hunt,
right.
So we're getting feedback from people, day of what we just did, to see like what they liked, what they didn't like, what we need to change, in the editing format wise, is this what the people want to see, or do they want to wait, and it be a more polished product, or do they like it just coming out raw and just being, the way the hunt actually was. So it was cool. We got a lot of good feedback on it, and we'll see. I think we're going to try to do some more of that going in the future, but I don't know yet.
Now, I got to imagine when you go to the school, when you go to Stephen F. Austin and you go to school for photography, you got a lot of artsy fartsy liberal types that couldn't imagine doing the things that we do to some animals. You're ending a life.
Oh, yeah.
Did your personality come out at all? Were you able to talk about kind of your interests of hunting? And I mean, hell, even just being a soldier is probably enough to get a lot of people irate.
Yeah. So when I got to Stephen F. Austin because I was an art major with a photographer, or with a focus in photography, I guess is how it's technically called. But when I walked into the room, my first day of class, I stuck out like socks on a rooster in there. Everyone was different. And then everyone, like I was the outsider, you got somebody that talks like me, that does what I do. I was fresh out of the Marine Corps. I definitely didn't fit in, but it was kind of cool because everybody kind of got along with what I did, because all of our projects, photography wise and everything, you had to, what didn't matter what we were taking pictures of or what it was. Mine was always revolved around hunting. So I would go hunting on the weekends, and I would use that time to do my projects, and I'd take pictures of our hunts or whatever. And that's what I would bring in for my presentations. And so everybody would see all these dead birds. They'd see dead ducks or geese or deer or turkeys or whatever, and that would be my project I'd bring in, or photos from during the hunt or something like that. And but everybody would know. They'd be like, that's Nick's stuff, because he's taking pictures of shit like that. But no, everybody, I got along with everybody. Only had one little, I think my first semester had one class that I think somebody was doing a presentation over, it was some like anti-war thing that they had going on. And my presentation was over the Vietnam Wall Memorial. And then so we kind of had a little back and forth dialogue in class over our beliefs on that. And that was it. That was the only time I ever had anything kind of come up like that. Everybody else was cool with everything I was bringing to the table.
Did you, was the class full of liberals?
A lot of them, not all of them, not everybody, but there was a lot of, left wing, or, whoever thinks that way, I don't know, but everybody's, hell, I was like 7 years older than everybody else in my class when I got there.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of kids right out of high school that were just on their own, doing their own thing for the first time. And they got all these beliefs and opinions that they want to share with everybody because they think everybody needs to hear it. And I don't know. So there was a pretty big age gap between me and the rest of my classmates most of the time. And I think that kind of come out on the beliefs side of things, or maturity level, whatever you want to call it.
So I had to take an art class in college, and it was miserable. It was art appreciation, but I wasn't an art major either.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some interesting people in the art major. What I thought was always real cool was a class they had where they got to do nude sketches, the girls in class. That's a pretty fucking good class. Can I just sign up for that one? Which they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, it's a special elective, I guess. You got to be selected for that one, Jeff.
You know, me and Michelle were in Marblehead, Massachusetts. We went out and ate one night, and we had a VRBO. Our house was right by there, like downtown. And we come walking through downtown. And it was a real foggy night, and I'll never forget this. I'm at the restaurant, and we're walking by, and I look through a window, and there's this fat bitch sitting on a stool naked. I mean, buck ass naked, big gal. She's pushing 4 biscuits at least. And I felt sorry for that I felt sorry for that stool she was on. And she was butt freaking naked, and people were painting her. I had to go back and look 3 times. I was going to take a picture. Michelle wouldn't let me. She goes, "You cannot do that." I said, "People ain't going to believe me. I'm fucking right here on Main Street. This 400-pound chick sitting there butt naked, and everybody drawing sketches of her and shit." I thought, oh boy, only in Massachusetts.
Mine would have been like a caricature. I'd have had that bitch real big. Stool like an elephant riding a bicycle or whatever. That's what I'd have drawn.
How do you make sticks that round?
That's what I'd have gotten out of it.
But I'll never forget that. I told Michelle, I said, "Come here, look." She's like, she looks, she goes, "Oh my God." I was like, "Here, hold this. I'm going to take a picture." "You can't take a picture of that." "You're right. I don't know if it'll fit all in the same screen. I have to use the panoramic to get all her ass in there."
What's crazy to think, and like I've never really thought of time being this way, but like you got out of the Marine Corps and you went to college and you were the older, wiser guy. And like you're in your early to mid 20s, you know?
Yeah, I was like 25, I think, when I went back to college. Because I went to college for a year, and then I joined the Marine Corps, and then got out, and then had to work for a 6-month period, and then had to go back and take classes that I'd failed my first time, and then finally got in at SFA because my GPA was too damn low. I had like a 1.4 or something like that. And it was too low, so I had to retake all my classes at Panola that I had failed the first time around. So, yeah, like I said, I think I was 25 or 24 maybe. Yeah, because I was 27 when I graduated, so I was 24 when I went back.
So you went to college the first time as a boy, and the second time you went to college, you were a man, and you had life experiences.
Yeah, definitely had some experiences, that's for sure.
And that's good though. That way you're not indoctrinated into all their bullshit.
But I can remember that being in college and like that kid, you know, he's like in his mid 20s. You're like, I bet he's got his shit together. And now like here I am 35 and I'm like, you don't fucking know what you're doing at 25. You just got age on people, is it?
No, it's just from an 18-year-old's perspective, you see that 24, 25-year-old, they seem so much older. But I mean, you ain't got shit. I know I didn't have shit going like together at all when I was in college, and I still don't have it together. And I mean, I'm, like I said, sniffing 30 and just trying to figure it out on the way, you know? But no, like if I could have never graduated college without the Marine Corps. I never would have. I mean, I didn't have any desire to get a degree or anything like that. So, you know, the Marine Corps is the only reason I have a degree, or I'm doing what I'm doing.
The discipline that came along with the Marine Corps, or just pulling out, like what do you mean when you say the Marine Corps?
The discipline was definitely a big part of it. I needed discipline when I was 19, and I needed to grow up. I needed to, you know, get some maturity under me, and, you know, kind of get some idea of direction of what I wanted to do. You know, when I graduated high school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was hunt, and I didn't know how I was going to do that and, you know, make some sort of a living, but I was trying to figure it out. And then college wasn't it for me. The only reason I went to college the first time is because I went to go enlist, told my family I was enlisted in the Marines, and they were like, well, what the hell are you doing that for? And so they talked me into going to college for a year. They said, go to school for a year. If you don't like it, then join the Marines. So I went for a year, or I went for a semester. After the first semester, went to the recruiter and enlisted, and then went back for the second semester, and then just didn't even go to class because it was springtime and I was trying to turkey hunt. I just flunked all those classes and then went off to boot camp after that.
Jeff did that.
Went to boot camp?
No, with Payne.
Oh, yeah.
Go for a year, son. Just go for a year. If you still want to enlist, then you can do it.
Well, he didn't want to enlist. He didn't want to do shit. He wanted me to pay his bills forever. He went to college, and then he went to paramedic school. He went to the oil field. He went and worked for the city of Knox City 2 or 3 different times. He went back to school. He was going to be a parent doctor or some shit again. I don't remember what the fuck it was. And I told him, I said, listen, here's the deal. You ain't going in the fucking military. I said, all you're doing is fucking off your life anyways. I said, go in the military to be really good for you. Okay. And then he come back 3 days later and he found this program that he wanted to do. And he joined the military. And then your mom looked at me like, I can't believe you made him join the military. He gets out in 2 years. If he gets out in 2 years and nothing's wrong, then I'll be okay. But boy, if something happens in them 2 years, I'll never hear the end of that shit. But it's the best thing ever happened to him because of discipline.
I think it's the best thing that can happen for a lot of kids. Like if they would just go for the first, because how long are you in the Marines for? What's your contract? 4 years.
That's the base. The shortest one is
Payne's
4
in
years.
for 6 because of what he does.
But if everybody that just and I mean, really, like what 18-year-old actually knows what he wants to do? But like if you just went to the military for 4 years, 18 to 22, and then did it like you did and go back to college, you've at least got the discipline to stick with something. You're not going to flitter kind of everywhere every 2 to 3 years and pick up the pieces.
Payne will be 26 years old when he gets out of the military, and he will be able to walk into a 6-figure job making really, really good money, and he's learned how to be an adult. Otherwise, if he wouldn't have done that shit, he'd be living in the front of our house still. I would be fucking all the way bald probably, or I would have been in trouble for killing my kid. So that's kind of where I'm at on that deal. And I feel sorry for people with young kids like Andy right now because these fuckers are different than they used to be. The difference between the first child at the house and there's a 10-year difference between Andy and Payne is fucking night and day. The old Andy's generation, you could talk to like an adult. You could get on their ass. It's a whole different world. They didn't feel sorry for themselves in the whole world. Well, that's not the way it is now.
Military, get that shit correct.
Yeah, they'll snatch that shit right out of you real fast.
And that's what they need, though. That's what's wrong with our kids today. They're soft.
Where is Payne
Payne
at
is
now?
in Tacoma, Washington, and he will be there till he gets out. That's where he'll stay. They put up a new unit, and he's got a really good education. He is finding out the difference between our presidents. He's a conservative kid, but when Trump was there, the funding for what he does was unlimited.
Right.
So he could, and he was in charge. He's in charge of getting to pick where they go to classes in school. So he could pick, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to go here. Well, now they've cut a lot of their funding and shit. They put him on a fucking bus the other day from the Canadian border to the Mexico border to go to Fort Huachuca, and he had to ride on a fucking Greyhound bus with 80 other guys. Before he was getting to fly on a fucking plane to go everywhere, and now they put him on a fucking Greyhound the other day with a bunch of other guys. So.
Sounds like not fun at all. Fuck
he
that.
goes, there's our funding right there. Rode a bus. He even offered to pay for his own flight down there, and they wouldn't let him.
Team building. Team building. We need you all together.
Yeah, this is a team building exercise. We're all going to sit on this Greyhound for 36 hours.
I think that's exactly how long it was, too. I think it was a 36-hour ride.
Damn. I think I'd rather slam my nuts in the toilet seat than do that.
I asked him, I go, how was it? And he messaged me, and he said they left it early in the morning, like at 2 or 3 in the morning. And he said when the sun came up, we were in Eastern Oregon. And he goes, I've never been here before. And he said it was not bad at all. By the time they got to Los Angeles, he was over the bus, though.
Yeah.
So
I saw a video. A guy got pepper sprayed. A black guy got pepper sprayed. He was very animated because, like, I guess wherever he was, he got pepper sprayed, and then like he had to like tackle 3 or 4 different people. And
so
like,
this wasn't a cop situation. This was a military deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had like simulated an arrest and all this other stuff. And god damn, it was the funniest 2 minutes of my life. Like he was just, as soon as it hit him, like, oh god damn. And just the whole, just fucking, I'll have to send it to you, but it was the most funny thing. When he got to the end to like make the arrest, he was hurting so bad that his whole body was like shaking. Like he could not control anything about it was just burned so bad.
Yeah. That OC spray is no
That's
joke.
what it was, OC spray.
Where all were you stationed at?
I was just stationed in Camp Pendleton, California, so Southern California. I was with 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines Weapons Company, and then within Weapons Company, I was in 81 millimeter mortar platoon, Um, so I was stationed out at Camp Pendleton, and then I did 2 deployments out of there. I did a 13th MU, which is where the Navy picks up a infantry Marine unit and kind of floats you around the globe. And this was like 2016, and we floated around the South Pacific and around into the Middle East and did some training, did some partying, did some support of Operation Inherent Resolve, which didn't include nothing but just sitting on the ship and working out and watching a lot of movies. And did that. And then I did a UDP, which is a unit deployment program to Japan. So I went to Okinawa, Japan, and did jungle warfare training there. And then we went to mainland Japan and trained the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force for a few months and did some like cold weather training up at Mount Fuji. And that was it. That took me from 2014 all the way to 2018, and that's just what it was.
Did you spend some time did you get to go to Fiji? Any of that when you was in the South Pacific?
No, I didn't. I did get to go to Bali, Indonesia. That was pretty cool.
I heard that's a really good place. Real beautiful. I've heard it's real beautiful there.
If I was going to go anywhere, there's only 2 countries I would revisit. I'd go back to Japan. I got to spend New Year's Eve of 2018 in downtown Tokyo, and Tokyo was very cool. A lot of different stuff going on there. I didn't realize how big of a attraction it is for people from all across the globe to go there for the New Year's Eve. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was, and there was just people everywhere. So that was cool, just a real cool cultural experience. You know, I didn't ever expect to see anything like that. And then Bali, Indonesia is just beautiful. I would go back there in a heartbeat and go sit in a hotel pool bar and not leave until I had to go.
What was in Japan? They say it's very safe and very clean.
Yeah, it was very clean. Everything about it. I think me and my buddies, they cut us loose after Christmas and for 5 days, I think. So me and 4 or 5 buddies, we rented out a loft apartment for 5 days just outside of downtown Tokyo, and we just went and stayed there and just had ourselves a time. It just did whatever the hell we wanted to do. You know, we had an apartment that was big enough for like 1 person to stay in, honestly, but we had 5 of us crammed in there, and we would get on these bullet trains that had 0 English on them at all. It was just all Japanese, everything. And we would just kind of figure out our way to get to downtown, and then we would just bounce around and had a lot of fun.
When you were in Indonesia, in Bali, Indonesia is a Muslim country, correct?
I don't know if it's like considered a Muslim country. I know they have a big Muslim community or populace, I guess you could say.
What was there, hot chicks in bikinis?
Were there hot chicks in bikinis?
Yeah.
Bali, Indonesia is to Australian and New Zealanders what Panama City Beach is to people in America.
That's what I was always. That's what I was getting at, because I knew it was a big party place, bunch of hot chicks, but it's also a Muslim country. I think if you look it up, I bet you they're Muslims, about 70% Muslims there.
And it may be just different regions of that country. Maybe like the very southern end of Indonesia is like where the big Muslim populace is. I don't know. I can't even remember. I've definitely looked at the maps of that and seen, you know, where there's some sort of activity like that going on, because we had to be in tune with all that kind of stuff. But in Bali, none of that was going on. Bali was just spring break.
Jakarta, Indonesia is a huge Muslim place.
It says has the large Islamic population in the world, and Indonesia is also the world's 3rd largest democracy.
But it's the what did it say about Muslim population?
Largest Islamic population in the world
is in Indonesia.
It's a big place. Place.
Yeah,
I know. Set up pretty quick. Impressive.
It's one of my hidden. Most of the time, I can't find shit on here, so you know, I'm just having a good day.
So, anyways, I've always heard there was a bunch of hot chicks. I was in Jamaica one time, and there was an older man, around a bunch of us, and there were some younger girls in our, not younger, they were fucking 19 to 23 college age girls in our group. And this old man with the old, you know, chains down to his belly button and shit was talking to him. And he's like, y'all ought to come out to my house in Bali and come hang out with us and blah, 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 blah. Fuck, Jeff Stanfield's thinking, fuck, I'd go do some shit like that. It'd be fun as hell. just go to a different island and just hang out for a week or two. Couldn't get none of the girls involved. He wasn't interested in my fat ass, just the girls. But I'd always heard it was a cool place.
One thing that was really cool, we went to Sri Lanka, and we were the first U.S. forces to go to Sri Lanka since their civil war. So it had been like since 2004 since any U.S. forces had been there. And it wasn't a very clean city. There was parts of it that were clean, but there was still like just rubble and everything just everywhere, burn up cars and things like that. But everybody went to this one hotel pretty much. And we would just go there and hang out all day and drink beer by the pool and just have a good time. Well, me and my buddies, we met this dude the first night we were there that was from Baghdad, Iraq. And he was living in Sri Lanka now, but he had lived in Texas for like 10 or 12 years working in the oil field. And he'd lived in Midland and Odessa and just bounced all around Texas working in the oil field. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I was however many thousands of miles away from home. And one of the first people that we run into, just struck up conversation with us, is this guy from Baghdad, Iraq that lived in Texas. And so me and he liked to hunt, and me and him got to talking about hunting and things like that. And it was pretty cool just to find some common interest with somebody like that so far away from home that's on the complete opposite, spectrum. I mean, you just don't expect to meet anybody like that. I always thought that was really cool. That was something about the traveling the world in the Marine Corps, which I didn't ever care to travel the world before. I just had to do it because it was my job. But that was definitely a cool perk out of it. You meet a lot of cool people and you get to see a lot of different sides of life from across the world. So that was cool.
I love to visit with people too, wherever we go. I like to talk to people. I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to ask if I'm in an airport, not a bar, the guy sitting next to me or the lady, I'm going to ask them where they're at and what they do everywhere we go. And it's just because you never know who you're going to talk to. And it's a small world. It really is.
Very small.
And you'll talk to someone and they'll, I know someone. And boy, if you tell somebody from your Texas, they're going to let you know what relative they have from Texas everywhere you go. Luke Musgrove worked for us. He went to Las Vegas and there was this strip club and be like, where are you from? Kansas. And he said, they just kind of go off. And he said, Bucket, where are you from? I'm from Knox City, Texas. Oh, I got a cousin who lives in San Antonio. He said, they just automatically treat you different when you're from Texas.
Yeah.
So when you were on the big ship and you could see nothing but ocean, did you ever see the curvature of the earth?
Oh, God. Flat Earth Andy.
I don't think I ever did.
See there?
I don't think I ever did curvature.
There you go.
But I don't know how you got to be able to see before you can see that curve down,
7 miles. If you watch a ship, if you
tell me 7 miles, I'll believe it.
If you go to Corpus Christi, Texas, and you sit at the jetties and you watch a ship coming to you, you see the top of it first. It's because it's coming over the curvature. I've explained this to Flat Earth Andy a dozen
it's just too far out there for you to see.
Oh God, here we go.
So here's another question for you. Do you have any experience in shooting long range rifles?
Very minimal. We worked side by side. So in my company, we worked side by side with our sniper platoon pretty frequently, and we got to shoot on their long guns every now and then. Just like we would let them operate our mortar systems every now and then, but not too often. So I got buddies that's all they do and they nerd out on that shit, but I never had to with mortars. So when it comes to the bullet and the curvature of the earth and how that, I don't know. I can't speak on that very intelligently.
I can't wait to figure out where Andy's going with this. This is going to be good.
Snipers have to take in account the spin of the earth and the curvature of the earth.
How many snipers are shooting over 7 miles away?
A lot of them.
No, they're not. What's the biggest kill? 2 miles?
Yeah, probably about like that.
I think it's 2 something. I think.
So they got to worry about the spin of the earth. It affects their bullet. Have you ever seen a volcano erupt, Jeff? It goes straight into the fucking air. Otherwise, it would be like this because you're spinning so fast.
What are you talking about? Did you not learn nothing from when we talked about?
You ever thrown a bucket of water up into the air?
Fuck.
Comes right back down on you.
Well, where do you expect motherfucker to go? Down the block?
If you're fucking spinning that fast, Jeff, it's gotta hit somewhere other than you.
No, it's because gravity.
Oh, here he goes. He knows.
Do you remember we had the conversation about the guy who said if we ever stop, it's going to kill everybody? Do you remember that? Because we're going at like 120,000 miles an hour or some shit. Okay.
So how's it affecting that bullet, but it's not affecting the volcano that just erupted?
Who said it had a damn thing to do with the bullet? You did.
All the snipers do, Jeff.
Well, let me talk to all the snipers in the room here. We have none.
Jeff just isn't opening his mind.
Honestly, if I was going to talk to anybody about effects of some sort of round and shooting over long distances, you might want to find an artilleryman, because they shoot a lot further than everybody else, and maybe that would have more effects. The curvature of the earth would have more to do with an artillery round than anything else.
Figure?
If I had to get,
Yeah.
Well, you're an artillery guy, right?
No, mortars isn't. No, it's not artillery. Artillery is like
A howitzer.
Your howitzer,
Yeah.
things like that.
How far does a mortar shoot?
So, 81 millimeter mortar, and I might be wrong. Hopefully, somebody can correct me on
Oh,
this.
they will. Don't worry.
But the max effective range, I want to say, for 81 millimeter mortars is 3,866 meters. 3,866 is what jumps out in my brain. It's been a long time since I've had to actually have that shit memorized, so I don't know. But it's over 3,000 meters.
So 10 miles.
So 10 miles?
No, Jeff.
400 meters is a quarter of a mile, right?
Yes.
So 1,600. Okay, never mind. 3 miles. 2.5 to 3 miles.
Metrics just eats his lunch.
It does. Fucking, I don't know why we had to fuck with the good old system we have here.
We had a retired military man. We were using his phone for directions, and it was all in meters. Jeff was like, "How fucking far do I got to go before I got to make my turn? 800 meters," and just ate his lunch.
300 meters up here, take a left. Well, is that like 7 miles away, or are we going to go across? Am I going to need my passport? I don't know. I don't know a fucking meter. Had a lady tell me one time I was playing golf with a guy, and he shanked a golf ball into this tennis center where all these kids were playing. And this lady comes running out and chewing on his fucking ass. I mean, screaming at him. "Are you the one that hit this golf ball?" And I'm just watching this shit, and it was me and Payne in the back golf cart, and Payne's like, "Dad, don't say nothing, please." And she just chewing on his ass. Well, I'm not going to let my buddy get his ass chewed without me intervening, so I intervened. And she goes, "He missed that kid's head by 3 millimeters." I looked at Payne, I was like, "Is that like, a couple of inches, or is that like 10 feet? I mean, fuck, I don't have a clue what she's telling me." So, yes, millimeters really grow. So, so a mortar shoots 2.5 miles away, maybe, right?
Yeah, 81 millimeter mortars will shoot that far.
Okay, and that's the one you drop the ordnance down into the tube and it shoots out, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How quick does it take? I always wondered when I watch them guys do that shit. It looks fucking dangerous as shit, but it looks like it'd be a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. If you're asking of how often does somebody's hand get caught by that?
Yes. Just once.
I would say more often than you would think. I know when I was in infantry school, because the Marine Corps has 3 infantry schools. You have School of Infantry East, which is in Camp Geiger, I guess, North Carolina. Then you got SOI West is in Camp Pendleton. And then you got one in Hawaii as well. So all 3 of them train infantry Marines. And when I was at SOI West at Pendleton, the Hawaii school had a kid that was going through the mortars program, left his hand over the barrel, round out, and the fins on the mortar round cut off like 3 or 4 of his fingers right there, just come out and just lopped them off. Because the round's going to keep going. I mean, your hand's not going to stop it. Your hand just might go with it,
Damn,
that's a bad fuck up right there.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Did
So he's not opening pickle jars anymore.
No, not at fucking all.
I've seen the
Swim's
videos.
funny.
I've seen the videos where they're like practicing throwing the grenade, and then like somebody pulls a pin and like bobbles it or whatever, and the instructors are right there. And I mean, that's their job, is to keep everybody safe, and they're grabbing them and
they grab you and throw you out of the pit right there. They practice that. Like when we would be throwing hand grenades, they would practice. You would practice with a dummy grenade so many times before they'd give you a live one, and then they would practice actually somebody fucking up and dropping the grenade, and then they grab you and throw you out of the pit, and then they jump on top of you. But it doesn't happen too often with the mortar round hitting people's hands, but it's very close more often than you would want it to be, because like when we'll go to a mortar range, we'll have different people that are there to observe or assist or whatever, whether it be like EOD or somebody's learning how to call for fire, whether it's a different, like a rifle platoon or snipers or whatever, and they'll come over to the gun line and they're like, "Hey, we want to drop a mortar round." So we'll tell them like, yeah, you can drop one, but you got to do everything as I tell you to do it. Because I was a squad leader, and that's part of your job is making sure everybody knows how to do it. And so I would like pull them off to the side, and I'd say, this is how you do it, X, Y, Z. Don't fuck this up. Do not leave your hand above it because you will lose your hand. And then you just have to sit there and watch them fuck it up every time. Like they'll drop the round and then they'll pull their hand over the barrel instead of dropping it down below the barrel. Just things like that. So
why? How can you even fuck that up? It's like just drop it and move your hand, right?
People
are stupid.
You get in the moment. They get in the moment and they just get tunnel vision on having that bomb in their hand and letting it go. And then they just don't think about what they're doing with their hand after they actually let it go, because the shit doesn't start happening until you let it go. I mean, that's when the party really begins, and they just let it go, and then they forget everything you already told them.
I cover my ears.
That damn hand grenade thing looks fun. I told Payne, me and Andy we did some of our show this year, and we did some cool stuff with the military. And I said, oh yeah, we got to throw hand grenades one day. He goes, they let y'all throw hand grenades? I said, hell yeah. He said, how many did you throw? I said, we threw about 20 apiece. He goes, they didn't let y'all do that. I said, oh, yeah. He goes, there's no way in hell. I go, yeah. He goes, what was it like throwing? I said, it was like a baseball. He goes, you obviously didn't throw one. He goes, they're a little heavier than a baseball.
He snuffed him out.
Yeah.
Because I thought that'd be just like throwing a fucking baseball.
Snuffed
He goes,
out
no.
the bullshit.
He goes, he said, you've been watching TV. You can't throw a hand grenade 50 yards like you think you can.
Are they heavy? Because Jeff was full of shit. We didn't throw grenades.
You're not throwing it 50 yards.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
And you're not throwing it. Because it's so heavy. I mean, it's like you kind of got to use your arm like a catapult, really. And you just kind of straight arm it and send it over like that. You know?
Yeah, he says it's not. I was thinking you'll be like throwing just fucking baseball. Just pick it one up. He goes, no. He goes, that's what Payne said. He says it's a lot heavier than you think it is. He goes, it's not the.
So that's like you said, like you just this is more of just like a catapult. And you just fucking launch it.
But when you watch a war movie on TV, them suckers are throwing it 50 yards down there and
catching them.
And then picking them up and throwing them again.
Yeah, throwing them back.
Yeah, no, it's all bullshit. What you said you wanted to hunt? Did you see video and pictures as your kind of path into the hunting world?
Yeah, so like 2015, when Instagram really kind of started taking off, and I started noticing all these different people within the hunting space getting really good at photography, really good at videography, and putting this stuff on there. And then that was being utilized by other brands or outfitters or whatever as a way for someone to make a living. And I started seeing that, and I was like, okay, I always liked photography. I was like, that's going to be the avenue I'm going to try to take, is something like that. So I bought a camera, just started taking pictures of everything. And then once I got discharged in 2018, and I was like, I'm going to school for photography, then I really just kind of started toting my camera everywhere I went and just trying to find a way, just trying to find a gap in there of how to get in that space. Didn't know exactly how to do it, but I was really just trying to emulate what I was seeing other people be successful at, trying to do that, and then also trying to figure out an avenue of my own, your own little gap to get into it, whether that was going to be working for an outfitter, taking photographs or whatever. I mean, funny story off to the side, like before I applied for the hunting public internship, I had a resume typed up that I was going to send to y'all to see if y'all wanted a photographer and a guy that could scout or whatever. I was looking for anything because whatever, I was just trying to find a gap. So that was an avenue I was looking for. I was talking to like some other outfitters in Kansas and in Canada, and just people that I could just try to jump on with, take photographs, get paid a little bit of money, and then just keep trying to find a way into the outdoor industry that way.
It is. That's a normal thing now too, because most outfitters are getting where they have a camera guy that work for them.
They have to.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a girl that works for us, and if she's not coming back, then I'm gonna have to hire someone else. So, as a matter of fact, I guess I need to make sure she is coming back. But I think Lexi is. If not Lexi is, then I'm gonna be hiring another one to work for us. And they come here and they live here and they hunt every day with us. And they don't hunt; they take pictures and video. But that's their job. But almost every outfitter is getting to do. I shouldn't say everyone. If you're running a big operation, you're doing a lot of that. You have to these days.
Oh. And so that's kind of the route I was looking to take. And then I was already a fan of the hunting public. I'd been watching them on YouTube for a couple of years, and I saw their Instagram ad for an internship. So I said, well, hell with it. I'm about to graduate. I'm free. I can take off and go live in Iowa. So I just typed up my resume and cover letter and portfolio and sent it over. And after it was a couple months worth of, interview process and things like that. And after that, got the job and I've just been doing it since.
What do you send them? Like, I mean, do you just send them some of the pictures and some of the work that you've done? Or do you send them the shit that you did in college? Like, how do they realize that you're the guy for the job?
I just sent them and they're looking for more video based people because you're a camera, you're looking to film. And I wasn't. I was, photography based. But I just took, I think, like 20 images. And I had one of my professors help me build this portfolio. She showed me, she was like, get your 20 best images of everything within the realm of what they're looking for, or 15 in the realm of what they're looking for, and then take 5 images that is something outside of the outdoors, so you can show that you can operate outside of that as well. And she said, just take that and send it to them. So that's what I did. I just sent them 20 pictures and with a resume, and then that was it. And then so they have like a lot of applicants, and they go through and interview a lot of people. And it's more of not really what you can do or what you know how to do. It's, can you get along? Right. Is it somebody that they want to spend, do you want to go on a hunt somewhere for 14 days with this person and be with them day in and day out? That type of deal. So it's more of like a personality interview than anything. Of, can you get along? Can you hang out? And if you can, then you're good to go. If you can't, then, they just thank you for coming and move on to the next.
And I'm sure your time in the Marine probably helped you in that aspect. Like, you're on top of everybody.
Yeah, being a Marine on your resume, it definitely helps. And apart from just the resume part of it, it's a huge confidence boost. For me personally, I have a lot of confidence going into any room talking to anybody because of experiences that I've had and things I've had to do that just kind of give me confidence to be able to talk to anybody.
Well, and if you look at your living situations while you were still in the Marines, you've got guys that are sleeping underneath you and right next to you, and you're on a ship. You were on a ship for however long, and it's like those are tight quarters. So it's like I can be somebody that can get along and go along and get the job done.
Yeah, you get used to living in shitty situations and not showering and just being miserable and still having to get your job done. And although you're hunting every day, sometimes when you're hunting, shit's miserable. You're getting pissed on with rain or thunderstorms, or it's hotter than hell, whatever it may be. And so you learn how to make the best out of a shitty situation.
Do you have to furnish your own cameras with the hunting public, or do they have stuff that they let you shoot with?
So when I was interning for them, I was shooting on all their own equipment. So it was their equipment. I would just use it. Except for when I was doing photography. Most of my photography I did with my own camera. I would tote it along with me and just, use it when I could. And then when the internship ended, I just piled up all the money I could and bought the same equipment that they were using, because I wasn't expecting to get hired on with them. I was expecting to have to freelance and go do whatever. I just knew what I needed to get the job done. So I just bought everything that they had. And then into January, Aaron Warbritton reached out to me and said, "Hey, we got a spot we want to do with you if you want it." And I said, "I'm absolutely in." And that's when I told him, I said, "I don't push any other jobs to me from anybody else or nothing. It's whatever y'all got going, I'm all in." Which I'd also just taken a freelance gig with Sam Soholt. I know y'all know Sam. He had just offered me a freelance job like the day before the hunting public offered me the job. So I told Sam I would do this gig with him, and then THP come along and asked me if I wanted to stick around. And so I told him, I said, "I'll stick around, but I already told Sam I'd do this. So I got to, follow through with that." And they, obviously let me do it. But I'm actually an independent contractor with the hunting public. So I'm not employed by them. I'm my own boss. And, so it allows me to still work with other people and do other things.
I get that for tax purposes. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Right. But Yeah, it's got to suck. Like whenever it's pissing rain and you're like, oh God, what's it going to happen to this camera? It's fucking $1,000 camera. I got $3,000 worth of glass on it. Like what? It's going to be wrecked.
Yeah. We definitely hunt when you're hunting every single day, you know, you can afford to not hunt for an afternoon or a morning or a day because weather's too bad. So a lot of times we'll just play it by ear. You know, we might be hunting in Kansas somewhere, but we got no real timeline on anywhere else we need to be. So if weather turns to shit for a day or two and it's not going to be conducive for filming, and, you know, we'll hole up in a hotel or something like that and get caught up on other things, you know, getting all your footage captured or kind of getting a video started up, editing. And then once the weather breaks, you know, you're right back out there after it.
What is it like? Is there any hunting that you don't like? Cause like, I'm not a deer guy. So to me, I'm a waterfowl guy. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to like film something that doesn't really have your passion and all of your interest? I would have a hard time filming deer hunts.
So I love to deer hunt. I love to waterfowl hunt. I love turkey hunting. Those are my three things that I've always done. So I don't have a hard time with that. I haven't been asked to film a bear hunt or anything yet. I feel like if I got asked to go film a bear hunt, I'd probably be like, yeah, I can film it, but it'll be cool, but I'm not passionate about bear hunting. So like, it's something like that. You know, if you asked me to go to Africa, I could really give a shit less about filming in Africa, but I'd do it. But you know, filming deer, waterfowl, turkeys, I don't have any issues with that because I just love doing all of them.
You might, and honestly, like whenever you kind of think about it a little bit, you might be the perfect guy for a bear hunt or an Africa hunt because like you would get a different take. Somebody that's not passionate about it, you would see it in a different way than somebody who like lives for bear hunting or lives to go to Africa. Like you would get a totally different, you would capture a totally different hunt than they would.
Yeah, you're probably right. I would look at it in a different light and have a different eye for it, for sure, I would say. But I'm not going to go out of my way to go film one of those. The hell with that. I can find something else to do.
Because, I mean, it's hard. Like, because, you know, you're tainted by your own prejudices and you know what you know. And, like, whenever you know something well, like, that's as good as it's going to get almost. Whereas, like, if it's not your bread and butter and you are stretching a little bit, you might capture something magical. I don't know. I'm just glad I don't have to film and edit around here. I do the editing for the podcast, and that's enough.
Yeah. Podcast editing can be a pain in the ass as well, especially now that you do the whole video aspect to it.
The clips are the bitch. I tell you what's getting easier though, and I'm going to be out of a job before too long. AI is making editing videos quite a bit. It's making it faster. It's not making it any easier.
Explain this to me now.
So there's several different apps that you can download, and so like I use CapCut to do the.
So you found a way to make it easier for you then.
CapCut does like the clips that I do. So what I had to do before, so put the video into this app and then I just hit automatic text, automatic captions, and then all of the words come up.
So what was taking you hours before to do, they're doing it, saving you a lot of time then. Good deal. Good for you then.
But I mean, like, you still got to go through and like make sure all the words are right. Cause like when you're editing a Clay Reed clip, like, you know, there's a lot of shit he says that doesn't really resonate, but it has made it a lot easier. Like I can remember the first video I did with the words and everything, because I do want to get better at everything that we do here. It took me like 5 hours to do a 90-second clip with like the video with the words matching up to the segment, and then it was awful.
What's it taking now?
Still takes about an hour.
Save a lot of time though.
Hey, you said I froze. Hey, I got to take a piss. So.
Good. So do I.
Yeah, you're drinking too much water. That marine. Everybody had to go pee.
Yeah, I've been holding that one for about half hour.
With all that water you're drinking.
Yeah, been drinking it like it's going out of style. About a pot of coffee right off the rip this morning, and then several bottles of this water here.
That makes me piss more than anything. Whenever I drink a bunch of coffee and then follow it up with water, I am activated.
Yeah. It's almost as bad, if not worse, than drinking beer, and you break the seal that first time.
Yes. There's times like when we're hunting or whatever, and like because coffee is of the utmost importance during hunting season. And then
Absolutely.
like I'll pound a water or something, and then like it's like I gotta piss every 15 minutes. It's only gonna get worse, right, Jeff?
What?
Pissing all the time.
Actually, no.
No,
No.
not for you.
No. Well,
You just go and don't worry about it.
No. When I lost weight, I don't have to pee as much at nighttime as I used to. When I was a real fat fucker, I used to pee about 3 times a night.
Are you training for something, or why are you drinking? Why you're pounding all the water? You just been abusing your body.
Habit. Well, doing this when I'm talking a lot, it helps to drink water because my mouth gets dried out. But it's just habit. All turkey season. Like when we're hunting all day, every day, I'm drinking. I have a 3-liter water bladder that I keep in my vest, and I probably drink 2 of those a day.
What is 6 liters of water? How much is that?
I have no idea.
It makes 2 of us.
If when I was researching, like you can actually die from drinking too much water.
Well, yeah, called drowning.
No, oh yeah, obviously that's a shipwreck. That's not a good deal.
Yeah.
It's definitely drink too much, but a lot of the time, I just roll through that thing.
Jeez.
And don't even know I'm drinking much, but it just sits on my vest, and so I got the hose right here. So we're just walking, and I'm just drinking water the whole time. And then you look up, and you drank 3 liters, and you didn't know it.
That's the Marines coming out in you right there, keeping you properly hydrated.
Maybe.
Just for the record, Texas Tech is eliminated now.
Yeah, they're done. I notice whenever I'm just sitting around the house, like doing videos and stuff, I don't drink any water.
No, I'm bad about it. I'll sit here and not drink water, and then you wonder why you're so damn thirsty and you're peeing yellow.
Do they give IVs and stuff in the Marines during training, or not very often? You gotta be pretty bad off.
If you're a heat casualty, you'll probably get you an IV. So if you overheat and have like a minor heat stroke or something, or you pass out during some sort of training evaluation or something, 2 things are going to happen to you. You're going to get a silver bullet, so you're going to get a thermometer in your ass, and then you're going to get an IV because you passed out. So
that's how they fix everything.
Yeah. We're going to take your temperature, and then we're going to hook you up to a drip here.
What was there any time when you enlisted into the Marines that you were like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah, like 30 seconds after I got off the bus and I stepped onto them yellow footprints.
Really? The realization hit?
Yeah, because there's just people in your face right off the jump, and then you're going, holy shit, this is for real. And then they filter you through the end processing of everything, and you go through some hallways, you get some sort of bag full of shit. They take away other things that you have, like your wallet and things like that, your social security card. They shuffle you through a little room. They scalp you right quick, take all your hair off your head, and then it's just a blur after that. Everything is just mush.
Payne said
go ahead.
Payne told me when he got on the bus, they pulled in the gates. He was like, what the fuck did Dad talk me into here?
Yeah, it takes about I'd say a day or 2 for it to kind of wear off, where you forget about that what have I done kind of mindset, because then it's just your life at that point, and you don't know any better. So then you don't ever think about it again, and then you just live from chow to chow every day. That's what I did, chow to chow. Make it to breakfast. After you eat breakfast, you go, all right, just got to make it to lunch. You make it to lunch, then you go make it to dinner. And once you do that, you're like, make it to breakfast. And then you just one after the other for 97 or 103 days, however long Marine Corps boot camp is. 3 months, 13 weeks, whatever.
Were you in good shape before this? Before enlisting?
Yeah, so, once you enlist, you become what's called a poolee. And so you like belong to your recruiting station that you enlisted out of. So you have your recruiter is there and kind of in charge of you. And their job, once they get you enlisted, is to make sure you're as well prepared as you could possibly be once you get there. So however long you have, I had 9 months from the time I enlisted to the time I went to boot camp. So once a week, I went over to the recruiting station, and we had this big pool-wide workout. So it was like all these poolees from all over the Marshall, Longview, all this Northeast Texas area. We all went there every Thursday, and we would work out. and you would do this like 2-hour long workout, and then you learn like basic knowledge that you have to know once you get to boot camp, like little things like how to speak. I mean, just littlest of things. And then so you did that, and it was part of your job before you left was just making sure you were as in good a shape as you could be. But I mean, I grew up playing sports, so I was always in pretty good shape, and I was a real skinny dude all through high school, just string bean kind of guy. So it wasn't real hard for me to roll into that and just be in shape.
Did you have the long hair when you went to boot camp, or were you like, I just better do a crew cut? I don't want to make it.
No, I had my head shaved already when I went because I wanted to fly as under the radar as I possibly could. I wanted to be just as invisible as possible. So I already had a shaved head. This is the longest my hair has ever been. And once I got out of the Marines, I just kept that same Marine Corps haircut. I had like the faded haircut and everything. And this past fall, we were on the road, and I think I went to Mexico in July for a wedding. So I got it trimmed up for that. And after the wedding, I said, to hell with this. I'm hunting every day. I don't give a shit about it. So I just started growing it. And then I rolled into Springs, and I'm just going to keep growing it. So here I am, just going to keep growing it because why not?
God bless you. Like, listen, you get my age and the shit starts turning gray and turning loose, and then you're like, I wish I'd had longer hair back in the day.
Yeah, this will be the one time in my life that I'm just going to grow my hair out and just see how obnoxiously long I can let it go.
Fucking A. I would too.
Boy, if I grew mine out to be where you're at right now, I'd have to live to be 145 or some shit.
You'd look like, who was that? Tales from the Crypt. That's who you'd look like.
What do they call a skullet?
Yeah, it's a
It just
skullet.
grows on the sides and on the back now. The top don't grow for shit anymore.
So when's your next trip with the hunting public? What do they have scheduled for you?
Well, we've got like next week I have to go back up to Iowa for a work week. So we've got 1 week a month through the summer where we're all going to meet up in Iowa at, or like headquarters, you could call it. And we're going to work on summer content, whether it's scouting videos, like archery shooting videos, whatever. We'll just work on summer content, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. We are going down to Victoria, hog hunting June 22nd to the 25th with, you ever heard of Ranch Fairy? The guy that does the heavy arrow builds.
Ooh, I don't think I have. Ranch Fairy?
It's his Instagram handle and YouTube thing is called Ranch Fairy. But anyways, he nerds out real big on the heavy arrow stuff, and that kind of took archery by storm, over the last few years, and we all shoot heavy arrows, and he's got a big ranch down there in Victoria, between Cuero and Victoria, actually. And we'll go down there and go hog hunting for a few days. But other than that, that's all we're doing. I don't think anybody drew a pronghorn tag this year, so I don't know if we'll pronghorn hunt in August or not. And if not, then we'll just roll into September and start elk hunting and deer hunting, and then it's just a whirlwind after that.
So what are these heavy arrows? They do some damage. I'm looking at his Instagram right now.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to speak on it as best I can. I will definitely fuck it up, and somebody's going to cuss me for it. But it's all about heavyweight up front. So it's front of center. So they call it high FOC. You got real high FOC. So it's like you want to have like 60% or something like that. So now basically you got people, when you might have tried bow hunting, because I understand you bow hunted a little bit.
Very little, like with a crossbow.
I mean,
Blake's the bow hunter.
No, Blake goes hunting with a bow.
Everybody up to this point over the last few years is like, how fast can your bow shoot? How light of an arrow can you shoot? And now everybody is, how heavy can you shoot? So now you're shooting, whereas 6 years ago, you might have been shooting 240 grains or 260 grains total weight, arrow, broadhead, and everything. Now you got people who are shooting 600 grains at a Central Texas white-tailed deer, which is absolutely absurd. But I mean, it'll break some bones for sure. There's definitely something to it. I'm a fan of it. I don't know if I'm like the guy that's going to shoot the biggest log of an arrow you possibly can, but I definitely believe in shooting something that, hits a deer a little harder opposed to real fast.
Well, that makes sense.
But,
you're just using heavier stuff. It's more knockdown and more deadly. It's
Kinda like
more
bismuth.
deadly.
I mean,
Yeah.
from shooting steel shot to shooting bismuth
Right.
now. Instead of shooting super fast shells, you got,
You're
you're
heavier.
shooting bismuth and you're knocking the shit out of them.
Makes sense.
And tungsten with turkeys. I mean,
Probably Cam Haynes fucked it all up. He's probably the reason. Heavier draws, heavier arrows, shit like that. Right?
shit, I guess. I don't know.
There had to be
never met
some
him.
reason. Or it could have been this ranch fairy. He could have been the guy that started all this.
Any cool trips this fall you're getting to go on that you know of yet?
Yeah, what are you looking forward to?
I know I will go elk hunt this year, so I won't be a tag holder, but I'll get to film. I don't know if I'm going to be filming in Wyoming or Colorado or Montana or something like that, but I know I will get to film some elk hunts. I think I'm filming another Kansas deer hunt, which I love deer hunting in Kansas. That's a lot of fun. Anything that's, I think somebody drew South Dakota. So going up to the Dakotas and deer hunting is a lot of fun, a lot of spot and stalk. You're not just sitting in a tree all day. You're kind of just out there hooking and jabbing with them. So that's always fun. But like right now, I know a few things that are going to be coming up, but I don't know anything for sure yet. Like we don't start figuring that out here until the next couple months. So I'm just kind of hoping to.
Who's the coolest cat you've met so far in the hunt business?
I have to say there's this guy that he hunts all day, every day. But he doesn't he's just a farmer in Georgia. But there's this guy that just got done hunting with us in Wisconsin named Bruce Hall. That dude's the real fucking deal when it comes to just hunting in general, turkey hunting especially. He takes off. He starts in March and he's still in Michigan right now. He's got a real cool story too. Been bit by a rattlesnake a couple times, almost died. He might actually be somebody y'all might want to talk to. He's not in the outdoor industry, but he's out there hunting every day with everyone else, and that dude's pretty interesting for sure.
How long is it hard to be the guy that's not like in the action, or are you okay? I mean, obviously it's your job now, but was that a learning curve? Like, well, it's not about me. I'm just the guy that's going to capture this.
No, I don't mind not being on camera or anything like that. I don't mind not pulling the trigger because it's so cool to be able to capture it on a camera and capture it well. To where after the person who pulls the trigger, you're the one they're looking to relive the whole thing. So it's on you. They're the one pulling the trigger, but if you don't nail your shot, then the whole deal's kind of screwed at that point. And so after they shoot the deer or the turkey or whatever, then they're turning to you. And if you nailed it, then it's a really good feeling to have it nailed, and then you can just keep going back and watching it over and over and over, and that's just a lot of fun. And I like being behind the camera and then being able to interact with whoever is in front of the camera. You just get that dialogue going back and forth, and people seem to enjoy watching that more than just somebody who's just filming one person static, and you just have that one person talking, and they're talking at the camera, and your cameraman's not interacting with them. I think it's so much more entertaining when you have both personalities, kind of feeding off of each other throughout the hunt, and that's the way I like to film a hunt.
Has there been a big shot that you did not get?
I know there were some turkeys this year that I definitely botched. Whether I told them to shoot and it was behind a tree from me, or I had it just skosh out of focus. Trying to think of deer last year.
Because there's a lot of times you don't if it's just a hair out of focus, you don't necessarily see it in your little viewfinder. If it's just a bit off.
Yeah, I don't know until I put it on the computer really if I got it or not. Because I'm looking on the LCD screen and everything is in red from the peaking, and so you don't know, okay, is it all in focus or is it just kind of barely in focus? I definitely botched some stuff on the deer hunts last year. I just can't think of them off the top of my head right now.
That's the only way you learn, though.
I'm sure I fucked something up. If I know me, I definitely did.
Fuck, if you ain't fucking shit up, you're not trying.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. All right, my man. Well, listen, we've gone over an hour here. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that you are living your dream. Like you're out there and you're shaking and moving and you're doing what you always wanted to do. So that's really cool to talk to people like that took that leap of faith and took that big step forward.
I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all having me on. I've had a hell of a time talking to y'all. It's kind of weird. It's coming, kind of full circle. I've known of y'all for a long time. I grew up hunting in Haskell County, so it's kind of cool to get to talk to y'all and kind of bring it all together.
Yeah, with Kyle, right? That's who you were with?
Yeah,
Kyle and Dave Reese?
Davey's the first person I ever goose hunted with. Grew up goose hunting with Daniel all the time, and small world, but it's cool. Definitely cool to get to talk to y'all.
Dave's one of the best guys I've ever been around. He's the best guy I ever had work for me. He worked for me like 8 years. He's great. He was a great guy. Daniel's a good guy.
Oh.
We hunt a lot of Daniel and them's land now. Good people. We appreciate you being on here, Nick. If you got this way again, you come by and say hi. And I appreciate your service you done for us. I do.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Hey, God bless you, my friend. And if we can do anything to help you, please let us know.
You get up to Haskell and Knox County, give us a call, all right?
Right on. Sounds good. Y'all take it easy.
All right, thank you, sir.
Bye. Nick Andrew.
United States Marine Corps. Only 2 people have died for you. It's the American soldier and Jesus Christ. Don't forget that.
Amen, brother. Tech is out, man.
You're a spring sport, Andy. You got guess who advanced, though?
Texas.
Yes.
I'm used to it. Being a Tech fan, like,
You finished the top 16 in baseball. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mediocrity is about all we can hope
mediocrity. There's a 6 or a top 6.
That's like being a wild card team.
Oh, he's safe at that.
That's like being a wild card team.
Bad call.
Like being a Packer fan and getting beat, in the divisional round by San Francisco every year. Like, I'm used to these things.
So what is
I'm used to getting to the close, but no cigar.
Do you find it kind of crazy that guys like Romeo Dobbs now are coming out and saying that there's not much difference between Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers?
He doesn't mean that.
Is he safe?
He doesn't mean that.
I think he's full of shit.
Yeah, he's got to say that. That's his new quarterback now. He's got to say that.
That's a tough call right there.
What was the call?
I think they call. I say he's safe because he's there. He's there. He's on the bag right now.
Yeah,
the boss. He's safe.
Yeah, he's safe. TCU. That's who I will root for if they move on.
Well,
but yeah, Romeo Dobbs has to say that. It's just like.
But why do you have to say anything?
Let your guy know you got his back. That's why. Got to let him know, Jeff. You're my quarterback. You're my ride or die.
Did you see where nobody signed DeAndre Hopkins?
That doesn't shock me.
Did you see this?
30, isn't he?
Well, 31 years old, and the NFL executive, they asked about him. He said, well, yeah, he's good, but he's lost a step. He can't separate no more. He's got great hands, and he's uncoachable. And that's the key.
There comes a time when people are just done putting up with your shit.
Yeah, I mean,
like if you're DeAndre Hopkins,
if he's 25-year-old DeAndre Hopkins, you'll put up with a little bit
of bullshit.
Yep.
But you get to 31 and you start having some issues, and you just become expendable.
Yep, and that's what's going to be. And so someone's going to sign him because he's still good talent, and he's got a lot left in the tank, I think, to play this year. So somebody's going to end up picking him up.
Same with Ocho Cinco.
Just got time. Wasn't worth all the bullshit.
It just wasn't worth it.
Well, I read that today about him, and is the NFL executive too come out with it, and he said this, and this, and that's what he said. The last thing was he said he's 31 years old. He's still got great hands, runs great routes. He cannot separate himself no more, and he's uncoachable. And that uncoachable one's why the Jets passed on him. He wants to go back to the Texans now.
He couldn't wait to leave.
Well, now he wants to go back there. Probably got a hoe there. But, I think that's one thing James Washington has going for him. James Washington's not DeAndre Hopkins' talent, but he's coachable.
Very coachable.
And he also is making $1 million a year, and DeAndre Hopkins is making $30 million a year. But I think the coachable guy that'll work hard and stuff is pretty valuable on a lot of teams. They supposedly the Patriots. I can't see him playing for Belichick. Anyways, let's get out of here. We got
he did it with Ocho Cinco.
Go to the Patreon, brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. Check us out. The Big Honker podcast on Patreon. A lot of giveaways there, cool shit. Wearing my Scout boots today. It's been raining and put them on. They are comfortable. Kid is safe. They called him safe.
Good.
Just go harm frogs.
We'll finish the week up with Michael Hunsucker, and then next week we'll have Clay Reed come out. Got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. So it is podcast season. So thank you all for listening, and goodbye. Go check out our sponsors. Go check out Alpha Outdoors, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Mossberg, Double T British Kennels, Ducks Unlimited, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Podcast, Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Calls, and Boss Shot Shows.